Lockdown Reviews. Pofung GT-5 VHF UHF handheld by Paul Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446.
Hello again, welcome back to the channel. It's Paul Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform or 26 Charlie Tango 730 if you catch me on 11 metres and PMR 446. Now, this is another lockdown review. Well, this was the next video that I could think of to do. I haven't thought of anything else to do yet, but there could be more. Like I say, this is another day off for me, so might be able to get another video in. Depends, because I do have other projects going on in the background as well. So we'll come to that shortly. But it is another lockdown review on another of my radios, and it is this one today. This is the Pofung GT-5, or sometimes known as the Baofeng GT-5. It's quite unique in some regards, although it shares the same basic innards as another Baofeng model, which the model number actually eludes me at the moment. I'll probably find out what that is later. But like the other model it's related to, it has this twin PTT, which is your two side keys, flashlight, transmit and receive indication on the top. Reasonably decent antenna, using the SMA female connector. So if you want to replace that with a longer antenna, you can. It's a little bit bent on this one. If I can get this out, because I have actually trimmed my nails. The standard Kenwood speaker mic connector, programmable with CHIRP, and obviously works on the 2 meter band and the 77s band. And if you're that sort of person, you can transmit on PMR 446 with one of these, but that's not strictly legal, so if you want to do that, that's at your own risk. So at the moment this is one of only 2 Baofeng radios I can actually use without being close to a power source, because the battery for my UV-5R has still not turned up, so that doesn't matter so much here. So it's got nice big chunky volume control, although it doesn't feel chunky. Starts up. So at the moment it's in memory mode, but to put it into frequency mode, push the menu key, then turn it on. You'll see it came up with my old call sign there. Okay, we're getting a bit of noise there, that's nice. Yeah, so it came up with my old intermediate call sign there, because I've not actually touched this radio since I apart from just to keep it on me, when I've passed my my full exam, my advanced exam. I haven't got a certificate up for that. I'll have to do that. So I got the certificate for my intermediate hung up on the shelves across the other side of the room, because obviously can't nail anything into the wall here. So it's in frequency mode at the minute. The bottom frequency is 446 frequency, because I was just using it as a receiver at one point for that. It obviously wasn't transmitting, so that's a bit naughty. So you can directly key in the frequency you want. So for instance, 145,500. You can just directly key that in. So I'll put it back into memory mode, and we'll go through. Actually, no, I'll keep it in frequency mode for this bit. Actually, it would make sense. So it's got the menu. So the first thing you'll come up with is in the menu is the squelch. I keep that at the lowest setting, but these radios are rubbish anyway when it comes to receiving things. So back in the menu, so just come out. So it's on steps. I've got on 6.25. That's just for the benefit of me when I'm listening to 446 on it. Transmit power high on this. It's supposed to be about 4 watts, I think. Although that switches between high and low. There is a tri-power version of this as well, which allegedly can do 8 watts, but I don't believe that for a minute. Save, I'm thinking that might just be memory position, not 100% sure. Vox off, that's self-explanatory. Wide or narrow? Narrow. ABR, I never actually worked out what that was. I turn that down because it's just picking up muck. TDR, I think that's dual receive. Beep, definitely have that turned off. Timeout timer set to 300 That's how I like it. Receives DCS off, receive CTCSS off, set those up for repeaters, usually CTCSS. Transmit DCS and transmit CTCSS off, you can set them for repeaters as well, but you only generally need the transmit. Voice off, but that'll select between an English voice or Chinese voice. NID, we don't need that. GTMFST, we don't need that. S-code, don't need that. SC Rev, I think that's for something to do with scanning. I'd have to look at the manual, I don't know where that is right now. PTT-ID, we don't need that. PTT-LT, probably how long the light stays on when you push the PTT button. MDF-A, which is in memory mode A there, that would be name, B, name. Busy channel lock, don't need that. Auto keypad lock off, although you could put it on if you want. Shift direction off, plus or minus, whichever, depending on which repeater you're using. Offset, that's set to 0.6, which is 2 meter repeaters. Memory channels. Delete channel. Weight LED, colours, purple, blue and orange do not apply because it's just a white backlight. Don't need AL mod, it's a band VHF. It doesn't matter because if you enter the frequency it'll switch to the appropriate band anyway. TDI-AB, we don't need that one. Squelch tail eliminate, I have that turned off. Repeater squelch tail eliminate, I don't have that turned on either. RPTRL, don't think we need that. Power on message is set to message, which at the moment set to my intermediate call sign. Roger bleep, you really don't need that, so it's a bit obnoxious. AB beep, I'm guessing. And then finally, the reset VFO or the whole radio, and then back to squelch. Without looking at the manual, because I haven't played with this radio in a while, I wouldn't know what the half the menu things do. I know what the basic ones do, like so good there. And then I program these with CHIRP anyway, and that's what most people would do. The only thing that catches you out is the fact that to get into memory mode, you have to switch it off, press and hold menu, and switch it back on again. That's the one thing that's a bit of a pain. So set up for repeaters. So I've got it set up for 2 local repeaters, one that's slightly further distant, the GB7RW repeater near Whitby, GB3YC, which is somewhere near Scarborough, I think. Might be a bit further away than that. I can't remember its exact location, or even if it's still on air, because half the time when I went in that direction, that repeater was off air. It's got GB3TR, I can't remember where that one is. I'll have to look that one up. GB3FC, that's the one on top of the Norbreck Castle Hotel in Blackpool. GB3OA, that's just down the road from Blackpool, in Southport, I believe. LM, I can't remember where LM is. Might be the Lincolnshire one, I'm not sure. GD, I think's Isle of Man, IM, Isle of Man. Then it goes on to the space station, and then the 2 meter simplex channels. That's how I've got it set up. And then the 77 simplex channels, and then back into the repeaters again. That's how I've roughly got that radio set up, because I would have actually took this with me to Blackpool. I actually bought this at the National Hamfest a few years ago. The charger it came with is one of those dodgy 2-pin European chargers with a death adapter in the box. And I got this from a reputable supplier as well, so I'm surprised there was a death adapter in the box, to be honest. I think I got this from Moonraker, if I recall. And they're quite a good supplier. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Put that was off, yeah. So, it comes with a belt clip as usual. Battery. These 2 little side things on the side to get the battery off, but I can never get this battery off. It's an absolute nightmare sometimes to try and get it off. So I can never get the battery off this. But you do press the 2 things on the side and you do somehow get this battery off. I think you slide it down when you press those in. Yeah, I'm not sure how you get the battery off on this. So I was going to remove the battery to show you what was in there. We'll get it off. It does come off eventually. Pushing a belt clip, that's not a good idea, because the belt clip's actually fixed to the chassis. There we go, we get there eventually. So the battery it comes with is a 7.4 volt 2000 mAh power battery. So the lithium ion battery. That's the battery it comes with. Inside it says on the label a GT5 two-way radio, 5 watt or 1 watt apparently, but I think it's actually closer to 3. And the frequency range 146 to 400 to, well, this one can actually go all the way up to 520 apparently. And I don't think it can actually, but it says it can. I'm not going to put that to the test without putting it onto a dummy load. I know that will work in those frequencies without any problems. But it's got a metal chassis, the belt clip's screwed straight onto that. I don't know what the two side buttons are programmed up for on this, so I won't go over them, but I believe they can be reprogrammed as needed. So the battery slides on. Sometimes I can't get this battery to click in properly, but it is on it. It's not going anywhere. This one came with a lanyard, so I put the lanyard on it. The charging contacts there, and it comes with a charging base as well. Like I said, mine came with a 2-pin charger, and unfortunately a death adapter. Now, I don't use the death adapter. The death adapter resides in my collection of electrical and electronic death traps. So, and I wouldn't. And if you do get one of those adapters with anything at all, radio gear, whatever, just don't use it and get a proper adapter. Because you can actually get proper adapters for those 2-pin plugs. They're not expensive, so make sure you do that. Or make sure the radio actually comes with the proper power supply in the first place. So with that in mind, how does it sound on the air? Now, to find that out, we're going to need the tablet and our old friend, the Newelec NESDR Smart. Now, this was slightly off frequency the other day, so I may have to put the frequency back, but that was when I was doing some UHF stuff, obviously with the PMR446 things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to go and have my daily walk, which will say. I'll just walk a short distance away like I've been doing, and we'll go from there. And we'll see how the audio sounds, and I'm going to pit it against the first radio I actually tested in this series, which was, well, I can find it, the Retevis RT87. I just can't see that radio at the moment, but I know it's somewhere. So we're going to pit it against that, because that'll be fair, because that had good audio and the UV-5R was a little on the quiet side. But obviously I can't test the UV-5R at the moment, so I shall return very soon. You join me in a very hot car, and apparently I've only got 14 minutes left on this, so can't be too long here. So what we've got the usual setup, 145, 425, and that's the frequency I'm going to be using. So I'll catch you when I get down to where the phone box used to be, which has recently been removed by OpenReach. Okay, at the site where the phone box used to be, as you can see. No kitties today, even though it's a nice glorious sunny day. Okay, so first radio we're going to do this one. Then I'm going to compare the audio with the Retevis RT87. So there is a car coming. So I'll let this car pass and then I'll continue the test. Okay, now I can continue the test with a Pofung GT-5. If it will focus, it might do, might not, don't know. Okay, so
let's give it a go. The Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform, testing the Pofung GT-5 on S17. The frequency. I can't remember the frequency at all. Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform, testing the Pofung GT-5. Okay, so that's one done. Swap over to the RT87 for an audio comparison. There you go. Same frequency. See if this one sounds louder or quieter. Because this one, compared to a UV-5R, this was actually quite a lot louder. And there's a van coming. A counterfeit Vauxhall Vivaro. 2 seconds. Okay, now let's resume the test with the Retevis RT87. Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform, testing Retevis RT87 against Pofung GT-5. And another one. Same radio. Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform, testing the Retevis RT87 against the Pofung GT-5. Let's see. So let's go back to the flat and see how that all sounds.
Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform, testing the Pofung GT-5 on S17. Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform, testing the Pofung GT-5. Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform, testing Retevis RT87 against Pofung GT-5. Mike 0 Whiskey November uniform, testing the Retevis RT87 against the Pofung GT-5.
Okay, back in from absolutely lovely warm weather, but unfortunately obviously I can't stay out there for too long. So what can I draw from that? Right, so the RT87 definitely sounds a bit louder on transmit than the GT5. The GT5's an alright radio, although around about the time I first got it I gave myself RF burns off the battery contacts, which is a bit concerning, but other than that it's an alright radio. It does have this sort of chunky rugged look, but I wouldn't want to go dunking that in puddles. It's a bit... yeah. And I did have a moment where I completely forgot what frequency I was on, so I had to improvise because I remembered the channel number, because I had that in front of me. I should have just put the frequency into the radio, really. It was 145.425 in the end. You'll have seen that on the thing anyway. I've already listened to that before filming this part of the video, and I already know what the result is. The radios pitted against each other. The GT5 seems to be a little bit quieter on the old audio, but it works quite well. Does what it does. And that's all I need it to do. So, it was also very hot in the car again, as per, but the SDR didn't seem to drift too much, so that's good. So I'm just gonna, that's just work notifying me about some things, which doesn't matter because I'm not actually going into work tonight. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to obviously finish the video off, obviously by which time it'll be on YouTube and you guys will have already watched it. And I will say 7 threes for now. Stay safe, watch out for that virus. Keep enjoying your radio, and I'll try and get on the air if I can. I mean, it's a bit difficult because there's an antenna up at the moment. I can put the antenna back up, but I'm not sure how I'm going to get away with doing that at the moment. And I think the front end of the radio in the shack is a bit questionable, we shall say. So I think that would be it on that. So again, 7 threes, watch out for the virus, stay safe, look after yourselves, and keep your eyes on the vulnerable, and and just enjoy the weather in your back garden or wherever you can. So 7.3 for now, guys.
Don't forget, you can subscribe to this channel and ring the bell to be notified of new videos as I upload them. 73 is from Paul, Mike 0 Whiskey November Uniform, or 26 Charlie Tango 730 on 11 meters and PMR 446.